Welcome again, sport fans, to another edition of Half-Baked Sports. I got the crew together, thankfully. Sometimes it's difficult with our schedules. And we're going to be talking about a few topics that we want to bring up. We're always open for suggestions on topics, so please send us an email. Like, subscribe, make comments, get our attention. We're here to interact with fellow fans because sometimes it gets really annoying.
Not that bad.
Yeah, I noticed you looked at me, right?
We're always willing to hear and looking for a different point of view, a fresh point of view, and no matter how stupid it may sound. Anyway, so first topic I would love to bring up because I think it's definitely not being brought up enough is this comeback with Alex Smith. Now, granted, I know that Washington's kind of been struggling this year, and he came in and he's won a couple of games, but I mean, just what he came through to come back from that broken leg, I think that's a miracle in itself. I mean, and then of course to have the win on top of that, I mean that's just icing on the cake. Yep. What do you think, Kendall?
It was good. For him to do that, basically all he did was push through the hurt. I mean,
there's that rehab had to have been painful.
Oh, of course. But I mean, for him to come out and do his thing the way he did it, he was truly a super trooper. I mean, that's my opinion on it. He really stand up and stood up for the team.
Oh yeah, I think he definitely. I mean, and he's a competitor. I think we saw that back in San Francisco, right before he lost his job to Kaepernick, and then we saw it again. We saw it again when he went to Washington the first time and took
Kansas City.
Well, in Kansas City and then again later when he went to Washington. I mean, the guy does not roll over. If he were the rollover type, he would have been out of the league a long time ago. What do you got on it, John?
Most quarterbacks don't come back from that.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, most.
Joe Theismann, but they didn't even have half the technology back then.
But it's a true testament to his will.
That is very true.
His character. I'm not quitting. I'm gonna keep playing no matter what. I'm gonna see if I can get back out there. And if I can get back out there and be competitive, I'm gonna be competitive. And that's what he did.
And let's not forget, they wanted to amputate. There was apparently some dead tissue in there, and they wanted to take the whole thing. And Alex said no. He wanted to rehab it. I commend him for his will and his determination. Any last minute comments on this subject? I mean, I know that we could probably go on for a long time.
What hasn't already been said, with Alex Smith, he was never a bad quarterback. It's just a lot of people gave up on him because there was something around the corner that looked better.
It's almost like it's like you got the runner-up to Miss America, and you're looking at the winner. And you're like, maybe I could get her. I don't know.
I mean, but he was a first-round draft pick.
He was.
He's worthy of the title. The thing was that they were looking because he went through so many different coordinators. He reminds me of I don't know if y'all remember Jason Campbell. Jason Campbell wasn't a bad quarterback.
Nope.
It's just that he had he had a new coordinator every year, so he had to learn a different playbook every year. So
different terminology sometimes.
Yeah. So that's Alex Smith in a nutshell.
And like I say, this is a person that should get the comeback player of the year.
Oh yeah, by far.
I mean, hands down.
No matter what happens with Washington, Alex Smith is definitely more than deserved that recognition. So I think we covered it pretty thoroughly. Hey, Alex Smith, welcome back to the league. It's good to see you play well, and we're looking to see what more you bring to us.
I can't wait till you see what you do next year with 100%.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding.
I say New England makes big.
No, you want New England to make it big.
Well, no, I got my quarterback, but I'm just saying, I bet you they make it big for him. I like Cam Newton.
All right. Next topic I got on the cards here is probably going to be a quick one. We have Carolina versus Green Bay. I don't even know where it's at. Does anybody know where it's at?
It's in Carolina.
I think they're playing.
It's in Granby.
No, it's in Green Bay. It's in
Green Bay?
It's in Green Bay.
Yeah.
All
right.
right.
The thing is, with McCaffrey not being there, Bridgewater is limited to what that offense can do.
Yeah.
They are limited. They will have to come up with a great passing game offense for them to even be competitive in this game.
I mean, they went out and got what's his name? Robert Anderson, who was on the Jets. He's pretty good. And then they have DJ Moore, who's up and rising. Outside of that, they don't have anybody. So
well, I mean,
they don't have anything. And even on defense, they can't stop anybody because remember, Luke
Kuechly left.
retired.
Well, I mean, as soon as they lost Ron Rivera, the defense took a step down anyway.
So really.
That's why I said the offensive game plan has to be astounding to get past this game.
Yeah,
You don't have a run game.
I mean, Green Bay, and I think Green Bay's favored like 8 points. They're going to cover that by 10. I would even say maybe even 14. It would be reasonable. But it just really depends on what Carolina can get going. And that Green Bay defense has stepped up over the last few years.
Oh yeah, with
absolutely.
what's the guy's name? The linebacker, outside linebacker, 55. Something Smith.
Clay? No.
Clay.
He left, right? He went over
Clay's
to.
gone.
Yeah, he went to Rams.
No, he's not on the Rams.
No, he's talking about the
Oh, he's not on the Rams
No,
anymore?
it's another guy.
His name
It's
is Smith, I
55.
believe.
Some Zadarius Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he's been getting penetration on all lines. Like the left tackle, right, nobody can hold that down. He's just getting in there. So the defense got no choice. I mean, if you're gonna put two offensive linemen on him, somebody else
should be free.
Yeah.
And
so,
like I said, the game plan has to be awesome for them to beat it. For Carolina to even have a shot at this.
I mean,
And-
but they're
and-
gonna get blitzed,
and
so it don't even matter.
I don't know about you guys, but I know we haven't been, I know I haven't been watching a lot of football games. But leading into the playoffs, I might start watching some of the old game footage on the Game Pass, just to see maybe if I'm missing anything. But it does seem like Green Bay, they shored up a lot of their problems last year. One of the problems was the offense clicking. Their defense is still stout. It almost seems like they're the ones, I think. I mean, outside of course, New Orleans once Drew Brees gets back. But I mean, who else in the NFC do you think can go toe to toe with Green Bay? Chuck?
I give Arizona a shot. I'm not going to say 100%. I give them a shot.
I'm talking in the playoffs. Who
Yeah,
do you think you can knock? Because they're going to be in the playoffs. Who do you think can knock them out?
always plays well in the playoffs, but at the same time,
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
That's one.
I give
That's one.
Seahawks a little bit give them a run for their money a little
Rams.
bit.
Well, there is that previous rivalry that was a few years back.
Yeah, the Rams have been playing pretty
Tampa
good.
Bay, the Rams. I'm just trying to think of people who had good defense.
Defenses, yeah.
I was trying to look at it from who plays well in the playoffs, and it's usually Seattle, the Rams,
That's it.
Tampa Bay.
Seattle at home, maybe.
Seattle's probably not going to make it.
But yeah, Seattle. Well, no, Seattle probably.
I think they'll make the playoffs. I
They're
think
the
9-4. They're going to make it. Remember, 7 teams out of the
yeah,
conference.
7 now.
Only one team gets a bye week.
okay.
7 teams.
So LA is definitely going in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Seattle, Arizona.
Saints are already
Saints.
Where's Arizona at?
Arizona.
Go back up. There you go, right there.
Too far. They're 7-6.
Yeah, they have to win out.
Right now, the division that's not going to bring 2 is going to be the NFC East.
Yeah.
Everyone else is doing okay. Vikings are only at 6 wins, so that'll be a tough one.
So what about
for
the
them.
Raiders?
That's
That's
AFC.
AFC. That's AFC.
I'm sorry.
So right now, the Vikings and the Cardinals are on the outside looking in.
Yeah,
Somebody has to implode.
pretty much.
It's really that for them to make it. But if the Vikings can make it, I think they will give Green Bay.
Yeah, because the Giants, I don't think they're going to
They're
win
not
enough.
going to make it. Anybody in the NFC East?
It's only,
There's only one team coming out.
actually, they might not be a team coming out of there, depending on how they pick them. I mean, come on.
Whoever's division.
Whoever division
Division
winners
leaders
gonna
get it?
be-
Okay.
They're
Yeah,
gonna
so
be-
Washington's
they're gonna be
winning that. So.
All right. But yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I think you guys are right. I think the Rams, maybe Saints is a good possibility too. Maybe even Buccaneers, but the Bucks haven't been playing.
They're off and on.
They're not. They haven't solidified.
A couple games they straight, then they just fall apart. Then they come back and they fall apart again. It's like you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of that is due to the coaching, and because I mean, we know Brady is always focused.
It's coaching because
Well, tell Bruce Arians to stop picking on his players first.
Well, that's he's always done that. He did it when he was in with the Steelers. He did that when he was with the Colts. He did that with Arizona.
So I didn't even know that.
Like he does. That's just him. And it's like him and Ben had a problem. I think him and Andrew Luck didn't because he had Pagano.
Carson Palmer over in Arizona at first.
Yeah, Carson Palmer didn't have a problem because he was trying to make a comeback.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna argue with you if you're not helping him come back. So yeah, it's basically with the Hall of Famer type quarterbacks, which is Ben and Tom.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, I mean, definitely something to keep an eye out for. Green Bay is doing great this year. I'm interested to see what they do, and let's see who's able to knock them off. I mean, right now, I think they might actually be the favorite for the NFC. Next topic, Steelers, Cleveland, the battle for the North. AFC side, of course. I know it sounds stupid, but going with our last 3 games here,
Oh my
there is a
goodness.
scenario to where
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Cleveland takes it. Now, granted, that includes Pittsburgh Steelers losing to Cincinnati, which I don't see as
It shouldn't happen, but
That
the way
shouldn't
their
happen.
offense is playing, it could happen. I'll be honest with you. I just don't.
Whose offense?
The Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh
Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah.
They're just
I
not.
don't know what's going on.
They're
over
not on
there.
all cylinders.
I know they say Ben Roethlisberger has a knee injury, but
that-
it's like the receivers are not
No.
getting open.
That-
It's
and the
just-
drops.
And
That
the drops.
hit your hands. You need to catch.
You catch the ball with your hands. They teach you that in high school. You don't catch with your body. You catch with your hands. You bring the ball to your
Well,
body.
a lot
These
of
guys
the-
are trying to catch it with their body.
A lot of the young receivers, because even with the what's his game, with the Baltimore game, and the Cleveland game, so like with Marquise, what is that guy's name? Number 15 on Baltimore, Brown, his cousin of Antonio Brown. He catches it like this, and
Cradles it.
yeah, and what's called Lamar threw it to where he can catch it like he's supposed to. A lot of these young receivers are doing this, and that's why they're dropping all these passes. That's why with the Steelers they got nothing but young players. That's why Antonio Brown was really actually important because he was the seasoned vet and he can actually teach them or even just show them mechanics. But because whatever happened imploded there, Juju Smith is the senior receiver.
And he's 22 years old.
Yeah, so that means you got nobody experienced. So Biz throwing it, it's just they don't know how to catch it or know, the proper way. Okay, I'm in this
Yeah.
coverage. I need
That's
to
when the
catch
wide
it this
receivers
way.
coach step in and say, "Hey, bro, guys, you're not doing it right."
But
Yeah.
but but think about it. Juju before his time got pumped up like Antonio did. So the Pittsburgh Steelers actually, to me, from their environment and their culture, breed that because Antonio Brown was their creation. Because before that, remember
Well
he was
said.
humble. Like
Yeah.
when he was with Hines Ward and I forgot that guy's name. Was it Parker? Not Parker's the running back. Antonio. The one that
Brown.
left the Antonio is a wide receiver. The one that made the famous catch over the Cardinals. Not Cardinals. The Cardinals in the Super Bowl.
I thought it was Tyree.
No, that's the Giants and the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
When the Steelers and the St. Louis, not St. Louis, the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals went
You talking?
Oh, that was back in the day of
Warner.
Kurt
Back in the
Warner.
day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who's the receiver?
Well,
Number 19. something
I think we
Antonio.
know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, I
But
can't
I'm
think of
saying-
it. But I know, yeah.
But he made the catch. Though you don't have those type of receivers
No.
there to teach those guys that.
No.
We have
Right,
have that in a lot
right.
of these teams.
So
right now,
so
yeah.
you got no veteran because that was, and I think that was Antonio's rookie year.
Yeah.
But that's why I
Yeah.
said these wide receiver coaches like get with these players, man. Say, hey, y'all not doing this right.
But he got nobody else to show
Well,
them.
and
if
of course,
if you have
part-
15 drop passes in a game,
Part of that is due to the bargaining trade agreement where they're limited on how much practice time they're allowed to impose upon players. But going back to the whole possibility, and I know it's a long shot, Steelers have Cincinnati, Indy, and then they end in Cleveland. And as we all know, Pittsburgh has this notorious tendency to drop a game to Cleveland in Cleveland. Why? I don't know. But in order for Cleveland to take the division, they would need to lose all three. I don't see that happening. I think Pittsburgh is going to be able to rebound off of 2 losses, come back and beat Cincinnati. They know it's a division match. They know that they need it. It's important, and they need to get some game footing here to go home and host the Indianapolis Colts, who have a very good record right now. They're
Yes.
playing well right now, and Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger have a little bit of a rivalry, being that they're from the same draft class. So, but the Cleveland, the other note on this, they have to win out, which means they have to take down the Giants, which, as we've seen, is not an easy task. Then they have the Jets, which they should be able to effectively beat. Going into their last game of the season at home versus Pittsburgh. So this next 3 games will determine who takes the North.
so it's basically Cleveland runs the table. They got it. And
Well,
right now it's possible if Pittsburgh
Cleveland
still
needs,
blows away
well, the
with
Cleveland, if
Baltimore.
Pittsburgh wins 1 game,
Yeah.
then they have it because they have the division record.
Oh yeah. And they're
And
one.
they lost the first game against Cincinnati this past season.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a heartbreaker for me because I didn't look at Cleveland's record, or excuse me, Cincinnati's record, and said, "Oh, damn, these are 2 home state teams."
So
I'm thinking
I got
the
one
other.
other
I'm
question.
thinking Cleveland.
Does Baltimore make the play?
No.
No, at this point, no.
No. They need Seattle. I mean, not Seattle.
They need Tennessee to fall.
Yeah, they need.
They definitely need Tennessee to fall.
They need Miami, Tennessee, or somebody else to.
Or Las Vegas.
Baltimore's at 8-5. They do have a slight chance.
Yeah.
Where's
But-
Miami at?
Miami's
Miami
9, right?
8-5. So
Okay, so
they're
yeah, it's
in the
gonna
race
be-
for there.
And
Yeah.
then you got Las Vegas, who are playing right now.
Yeah.
Those 3 teams, one of those teams is not going to make it. And it
Raiders are like at the bottom.
It could damn
They're
well
like-
be the Raiders or Baltimore that will. I
Yeah,
think Miami's going to make it. I think the Raiders or Baltimore will not. The
Because they got-
are-
Raiders are 7-6, depending on the outcome of this next game.
Yeah.
They're playing, they're playing the Chargers right now. But even if the Raiders do win, that just keeps
They're
them.
still
That
half
keeps
a
their
game
hopes
behind.
alive.
Yeah.
But do you really? I mean, I love Gruden, but I think Gruden may not want them in the playoffs because sometimes it's just too much of a drag down.
I personally would try to go for draft picks. So.
So he believes in tanking.
All right, he's going to be on my staff if we ever professionally.
I'm telling
Anyway.
you, like,
Gonna happen.
Anyway, all right. So our last topic of the night here, we're going to cover a little bit, maybe even a little bit of subcategories here. Tua and Jalen. I mean, 2 rookies coming off the bench, basically saving. Well, I mean, Tua didn't really save it because they were already winning. But seeing Tua have a success, and as much as I do admit I still don't like the pick of benching Fitzpatrick, I like the fact that Tua was able to step in and keep the momentum running. And then of course Jalen Hurts coming off the bench and with a struggling Carson Wentz taking the top spot and getting their first win. Do we think that Jalen can keep this moving?
I think he can.
Of course.
I mean, I'm just looking at it from the point of view that, from looking at Philly, they
They need
we
some help.
always see these rookies coming in and then they have a good game, but the sustainability is sometimes the question because you look at the lack of weapons, the lack of defense, and
he's from Texas.
You just described Carson Wentz. You did. I appreciate it.
I knew he was going to find a way to get Carson Wentz.
No, it's just it's just like him. My thing is this: Carson Wentz and Jared Goff were overpaid before their time. That's just me. I didn't agree with the whole thing.
Wow.
You got Deshaun Watson over here in the same draft.
Is he overpaid?
No, he's not. He's underpaid compared to him. Well, think about it, who would you have? Would you have Deshaun Watson or Carson Wentz? Would you have Deshaun Watson or Jared Goff? Pick one. Either one.
He made a good point. Yeah.
He makes a valid point.
I'm just saying. And then even Deshaun Watson led Clemson to a title.
Yeah.
And he's getting less money than these 2 guys.
Yeah.
Are we serious?
well, and we already talked about this
world
earlier
of
off
payment
camera,
in
so I'll go ahead and make it on here. If you take a look at Carson Wentz, he got paid because Foles saved his ass in the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remove Foles from that
I
equation,
remember
It doesn't
that.
make
Carson Wentz isn't getting that money.
So and then that goes to and that brings me
Back to the golf then, right?
So how is it that a guy who got injured and his backup
What's happening?
led them to a Super Bowl ring and the backup leaves, but I get paid $128 million? How's that? In what world does this?
I
does
think
it
that's
make
a bad
sense of
general
this?
manager.
The head coach got to play a part in it too because somebody had to sign off on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And so and then the thing with Doug Peterson right now is that Jalen Hurts is either going to be his saving grace because he drafted him,
Or he's
or he's going to be his curse because
Or
now
like
the owner because the owner could look back and say, "Well, you're the one that told me to sign Carson Wentz."
Or like Josh said, had a great game, first game out there. Second game he might.
Well, and of course that may not be on him too. I mean, if you take a look at what they're lacking, Philly does not have a complete team. I mean, they're struggling for a
and-
reason.
But you know what their ammunition
That's why the
was?
division is where it's at right now because the teams are not complete. Dallas is not complete.
No.
New York is not complete. Washington is not complete. Philly is not complete.
You know what that is?
The one difference between all 4 of them teams is that Washington's defense has said, you know what, I don't care who's quarterbacking, we're going to play lifestyle football. And they are ranked in the top 5 of all categories.
John,
All categories.
I like how you said
And
lifestyle football. Right now, what's going on in the football world is rookies versus the veterans. Veterans are trying to take over from the rookies. Trying to take over from the veterans. Minus the veterans are trying to keep their spots. But you got these fresh guys coming in and saying, okay, well, this is what I'm worth, but just put me in one game. One game, it'll change the difference. And the football world's been very different this year.
It has, yeah.
But the thing is this.
The sad thing is, and I hate to cut you off, but when we're looking at veterans, Fitzpatrick, yes, veteran.
Wentz.
Like
Carson Wentz.
18 years, right? But Carson Wentz, what is he, 5 years?
5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe
5 years.
Okay, the ring that he didn't play in.
But the whole thing is this: what are we? So what are we doing with the National Football League as a whole right now? What are we doing? Because Brady, Breeze, I would even go Rodgers and all
Rodgers,
barely got 100 million.
Yeah.
These guys barely got 100 million. You paid Jared Goff, Carson Wentz,
Super Bowl, Jared Goff.
But I'm trying to think. Garoppolo got money too.
Yeah,
you paid these guys that did nothing under these guys.
And you paid them more.
Well, hold on.
To do what?
And the
Garoppolo
sad
went
thing
to the
is
Super Bowl last year.
and if you put it in keeping that into
Did Garoppolo go to the Super Bowl? Or his defense
his
team
saved him.
Well, you know, he's a
team.
49er, so he's going to keep saying that.
And the sad thing is take a look at how it's impacted the rest of the football. Now you're paying your quarterback so much you can't even afford to go get you some weapons. You can't afford a top-notch receiver. You can't afford a top-notch running back. And if you do have a top-notch running back, you've got to let him go because you can't afford to pay him.
You know how these contracts
it's actually a detriment, and I'm surprised they haven't figured this formula out.
Exactly what Kansas City did. We done locked this man in for 10 years. Now we got money to go get weapons or try to keep weapons that he had.
Well, if you take a look, the same thing with Kansas City, the same thing that's going to happen to Kansas City is what's happened in New England.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to keep some of the top-notch players if they were willing to negotiate their contract, but now they're starting to let piece by piece go because they can't afford them.
And that's what I was going to say. Are you going to sell out for a Super Bowl now, or are you going to sell out for the team later?
They're going to sell out now. Kansas City.
New England's a prime example. For the past
10 years.
10
right.
years.
16.
When Tom Brady was agreeing with you, okay, cool, I can go do this, I can do this. Now when he's looking at the end of his football life, he's like, hey, you know what? I would like to have another Randy Moss or two on the team. Now you're looking at him like, oh, well, that's going to cost money, so you're going to have to take even less. He's like, wait, I've already taken, I gave you.
How many discounts? He gave discounts like what, 5 years in a row?
5 years in a row. Yeah. Now I'm seeing Drew Brees get these 2 years, $50 million. I want that.
Might as well.
I can't give you 2 years, $50 million. Why not? Because I paid Stephon Gilmore. I think he's getting what, $19 million a year for a corner.
Yeah.
So
for a corner, and he's getting beat nowadays.
So Tom Brady
what are we
said,
doing?
I will go to a team that can't give me.
Yeah. I don't think he made that decision.
Top his number one weapon and then coming out.
I think if I was Brady, I think I would have given, and I think we had this conversation, I would have given other teams a chance to make a bid.
Other than Tampa Bay.
Because as good as Tampa Bay is, and I do love the defensive coordinator over there in Todd Bowles, but apparently I was definitely wrong about Bruce Arians being a good head coach for him to do.
So Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay so he can get on his yacht and get out there in the water.
It would have been best for me. I would have said the best place would have been from Los Angeles, the Raiders, because.
But they're not getting rid of Carr.
No,
that's what I'm saying. But if
it would have to be someone with a need.
But what I'm saying is this: if Carr really wanted,
well, no, they picked up.
San Diego said he wasn't drafted.
They drafted Hubert.
Lynn said he was not getting a veteran quarterback. That's why Cam wasn't a play for them.
Well,
he said he was not interested.
Nobody was, and that's because Lynn is rebuilding over there.
Right, but I would say Los Angeles because. First of all, you know the history with Gruden and Brady anyway. That would have been funny. But anyway,
what about like Minnesota?
No, they've got Cousins.
Oh yeah, they had Cousins.
What I'm saying is somebody who's young enough to be able to take a seat for maybe a year, maybe two, however long Tom wants to play. You can learn from him. He can develop you, and then once he's gone, he's a better quarterback.
You know what a kick in the ass would have been? For him to go to Buffalo and Josh
Allen sit down.
I won't sit down and learn behind the man that can't be.
Well, Tom said he wanted to play warmer weather anyway, so he didn't want to play.
So it's going to be a Southern team.
Yeah, he wasn't going to play for a up north team anyway. So And
I'm
definitely
just
not
saying
in
that
the
was just
division.
kicking the ass for Bill Belichick.
Definitely not in the
You have to see this man twice.
But,
definitely not a division because there was nobody strong enough outside the Bills, and the Bills are investing in Josh Allen.
take a look. And the Bills that had the chance were the ones that run by Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
If he
Anyways.
went to Miami, that probably would have
Matter of fact,
that would have been
Rex
enough.
Ryan did get a couple of wins during that time frame he was over.
Yeah, he
there.
beat them every
Every time it was in Buffalo.
Yeah, every time it was in Buffalo, and when he was with the Jets, he beat the Patriots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
Well, that was during the great defense and Mark Sanchez. And did they get it?
Yeah.
They got it.
Nope.
Oh, he missed it.
We're watching the Chargers Raiders. It's tied right now, late in the fourth, 24-24.
But I want to move back to Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
In Philadelphia. the kid got out there and did his thing. He
Yeah,
did
he
his
did.
thing. Can he? My question is, can he do it
Yes.
every week?
Yes.
Win or lose, he still has to perform.
If you take a look at what he
He's a
did, and remember I did a little blurb on this when we were getting ready for the draft, because they had Jalen Hurts listed so far below these other QBs.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Look,
He wasn't in first
and
round
just to
draft
give a little
Pittsburgh is one of
recap,
the
he
teams.
was a starter with Alabama before
pick. Tua.
Tua, and then all of a sudden got benched for flash in the pants Tua, and then not getting any play. So what did he do his last year? He went to Oklahoma,
And
Yeah.
led them.
led them to a championship, right?
Yep.
So, and this kid is humble. He's hungry. He's a competitor, and he dropped to what? Late 20s? Where did they pick him up
Second
at?
round.
Second
Second
round.
round.
Yeah.
They got him
Second round. This kid, no.
He was a
I
Heisman
believe,
runner-up.
a Heisman runner-up.
It got dropped to the second round.
I'm just baffled. I don't
I
understand.
think
it.
Larry
I'm in
talked about
awe.
that. Larry talked about it in one of the videos. I agreed with us. Like, how does Jalen Hurts fall to the second round?
I thought he'd be a late round, first rounder. I really
should've been a
did.
And we were worried
I
because
thought like
You would've
20,
took-
That's what I was
I'm
feeling.
thinking like 25.
Miami should
somewhere
have picked
in
him
there.
up because
First
he's
round.
a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
He's more mobile than
Well,
Tua.
this
Yeah.
is one
He
thing.
has a better command of the offense than Tua.
This is one
Yeah.
thing me and Kendall was talking about outside before we started tonight. These mobile quarterbacks are literally changing this league.
Yeah.
They are changing this
they're
league.
changing the league in the aspects of that's what's out there now.
Yeah.
Watch. When they get older, if they do not learn how to be a pocket present,
pass.
Yeah.
Well, you look
They're
at
done.
you look at somebody like Lamar Jackson in Baltimore saying, "I'm a quarterback. I want to be a pocket passer. I want to be a pocket passer." But the minute he gets flushed, he's gone. You got kids like Watson and what's the one in Seattle?
Russell Wilson.
They out there playing Houdini because
Well,
nobody
yeah.
blocks for them.
Well-
so you say your first 4, 5, 6 years, you're running for your life. How can I be a pocket passer if you're not giving me somebody to block for?
Russell
Right.
Wilson is the
He's
example.
perfected it, though.
Yes,
He's perfected it.
Russell Wilson is what they should try to be because the problem is Russell Wilson uses the running as a last resort.
Yeah.
It's not his
Oh,
instant
yeah.
reaction
Yeah.
to go. He's
And-
gonna look at
But
what
you-
Fast.
I gotta take
But
a
See, that was the
And
problem.
before
But that was
he-
the problem with
bef-
Watson. He would hold the ball so
Too
long.
long,
He's still
yeah.
trying to wait for you.
Yeah.
And then he finally has to take off. Where Lamar Jackson, as soon as that, fuck it, I'm gone.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
then of course that is the problem though, where like you pointed out, Russell looks for that opportunity. He extends a play, but he's always aware of where he's at
Yes.
Yeah.
and the pursuit behind
And the
him.
only person
So,
out of all these quarterbacks, the only one close is probably Mahomes and
Who are you talking about?
and
Sit back in the
Watson
pocket?
that is close to
Russell
sitting there
Wilson?
waiting.
yeah,
Well,
The
Tom
rest of
Brady.
them, as soon as they can
Well,
take off,
that-
they're gone.
that-
Well, the thing with Mahomes
All
is,
day long, Tom Brady will
But
sit
we
back.
talking about the mobile quarterback.
and he's got an offense line. We're not talking about those.
But if you
Yeah.
look at Mahomes though, and people, so a couple of people pointed it out. If you look at Mahomes, he's starting to be. The NFL is not set for not for long. People, like this last game, he had 3 interceptions.
Yes.
People are starting to figure him out
Yep.
because a lot of his throws. If you remember, we were talking about with the Houston game. I think it was this year or last year. If you look at his throws, he's really getting lucky. He's getting bailed
Yeah.
out on those throws.
He's getting bailed out by Tyreek Hill and
Yeah,
and
he's
Watkins,
getting bailed
Sammy
out.
Watkins all the time.
So as soon as they have that, as soon as those guys are gone, those new receivers aren't going to be able to do much.
Yeah.
They
He's
try to
really
do something sneaky, or it was a missnap. So it looks like the Chargers and the Raiders are going into overtime.
OT.
And on that note, we're going to open it up for one last minute discussion. Anything you want to bring up?
I did want to bring up
Yeah, botch snap. Sorry, that's not what he wanted to bring up.
with the Patriots in particular. There were some reports that N'Keal Harry, or not necessarily N'Keal Harry, but his team or his trainer in particular, were saying that a lot of this stuff is a lot of the blame should fall on Cam Newton because of the mechanics, and he was complaining about his targets and all that good stuff. Well, the problem is you're not getting targets because you're not getting open. So rather than him to try to throw an interception, which happened in the last game, he's going to hold the ball and possibly try to run for it because you're not open. So the last thing you should do is not worry about the blame on Cam Newton, but perfect your skills training, what you can bring to the team. Not sitting there and put the blame on somebody else because it's the easiest thing to do and because everybody else is doing it. That's just mine.
I agree.
I'll be honest with you. What he said makes sense, but we had a conversation earlier where he said, if you bring up Tom Brady. When Tom Brady was here, if you caught 2 touchdowns from Tom Brady, guess what? You only caught 2 touchdowns. Cam Newton. So I don't think Cam Newton's the problem. It might be you.
Yeah.
You're the one you can't run around and get open.
No.
You can't get open. You were a first round draft pick. They wasted the first. And then on top of that, and none of the receivers can go open until Edelman comes. Think about it. Got no tight end.
Yeah.
Run game's kind of beat up. Everybody knows he's going to run the ball because he's not going to throw. Who's going to throw it to? Myers might get the. I think he's getting double cover now. He was special teams.
Maybe
he was on special teams.
Maybe they should have picked up Cole Beasley when he was out there.
I'll say Kendall, last minute topic.
Lastly, sports fan, I'd like to say, speaking on behalf of myself and then my half-baked sports brothers, I love you guys very much, and let's chopping it up like this. Sports fans, you guys love football just as much as we do. We like to break down certain scenarios, and everyone has their own team. But just summing it up to where I'm coming from, I mean, it's been a very different football year. And just keep doing what you're doing, keep chiming us in, and just stay to your team. Better said.
Mine is, I just have one question, and everybody say yes or no. Should J.J. Watt stay with the Texans?
No. They got 2 years left.
Let him decide.
Actually, free agent.
No, it's 2 years left.
I think it's free agent.
No, we already talked about it. It's 2 years left.
Oh, okay.
We already saw it.
So I would say stay for the rebuild.
Trade.
He ain't gonna stay for the rebuild.
Because I mean, think about it. Your secondary is beat up. I mean, it's not beat up. There's nobody back there. So if I could trade him, get some kind of value or capital,
either a good safety or corner,
and a draft pick, a second round draft pick, and a corner.
Right.
I'm gonna go.
The value is that high though.
Well, I think you could get a solid second round out of it.
Yeah. At least
where would he go?
If not, maybe something else. You could probably, maybe even a second and a third, depending on the negotiation. I mean,
send them Dallas.
Well, I would say you
Dallas
probably get a lot
get
with
2
Dallas.
seconds
You
out of
probably
them.
get a lot with that.
I don't know,
The only reason I'm saying stay is because before all the injuries happened, they were starting to gel on offense. The defense was. But the only way you're going to build that, like you said, get a draft pick for him. But then you're losing. You're probably your best defensive player.
No, I mean, me personally, you're in rebuilding stage no matter what you did, because once Hopkins gone, that was rebuild.
That's it.
That was automatic rebuild.
Yep.
Once that happened, it was automatic rebuild.
Absolutely.
So you might as well get rid of Merciless. You might as well get rid of Watt. You just signed McKinley and what's his name, Cunningham.
Yeah.
So you got to keep those because of the contract.
Reed,
keep them.
Reed suspended.
Right. Well, this got a little bit longer than intended because we don't really need to break down potential trades until after
Not yet.
the season's over. But anyway, on that note, thank you guys for sticking with us. Stay tuned. Hit the like button, hit the little subscribe bell thing, and you'll be notified every time we post another video. We'll see you.
That big.
So the only reason